Well, hello everyone and welcome to another live broadcast here from Digital DJ Tips. It's me, Phil, in the studio, and today we're talking about how to turn any old record decks and mixer, even one that you've had knocking around for 30 years. These are from 1988. This is a Technics mixer from the late 80s, I think. Can't even remember how old this is. And my old SL1210 Mark II turntables. This stuff is 3 decades old. We're going to talk about how to turn any old gear into spanking brand new Serato system, just like I've got set up here. Now, for a lot of you, that's going to be, oh, I know what this is all about. But for a lot of you, it isn't. And for a lot of you, you might be sat there thinking, you know what, I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to dig out my old turntables and get them working with modern music, with MP3s and so on. Or your dad or your mum might have them up in the loft, up in the attic, hidden down in the basement. And you think, I've always wanted to do that. Look, you don't need to go and buy controllers and stuff. You don't need to buy this stuff to do this. You can use the old gear. And now it's even cheaper. Let's get that controller out of the way. It's even cheaper than ever to do it because of a couple of pieces of equipment that have come onto the market in the last couple of years that make it very easy to do it with this kind of gear. So that's what we're talking about today. Now, if you don't know who we are, we're Digital DJ Tips, the world's biggest DJ school. We wrote the book on DJing, Rock the Dance Floor. We also have 23,000 students in pretty much every country that's got anyone living in it. We love teaching this stuff, and this is our weekly show where we do just that. We teach you this stuff. Loads and loads of you will be commenting on Facebook and on YouTube and on the Global DJ Network, our networking group for DJs. I will get to your comments there. We will answer every single question you've got about this week's subject there. But if you're watching this on the replay, it's probably because you weren't subscribed. So do it, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, just hit subscribe and the bell. If you're on Facebook, make sure you follow the page, like the page, but also click show these posts first. And then you'll see when we go live and you'll be able to follow along live. So that's what it's all about. If you are watching on YouTube thinking, get to the point, this is a show. I'm going to answer queries just to prove it over here. Hello everyone, this is the query desk. I've got people all over the place chatting away already to us. Hello to Nikki who says, yes, 1210s, old school. Yeah, we're going old school today, Nikki. Peter says, that is simply the best mixer. So listen, the point is, if you're watching this live, this is a show. You're watching a recording of a show. We will be here for about half an hour. So enjoy it. But look, we don't get to the point, so to speak. This is a recording. This is a recording if you're watching the recording. You should have been here live. That's what it's all about. Okay, anyway, that little bit of preparation talk over. Let's get back to the main camera here. Let's go. So what we're talking about now is converting any old record decks into something you can use with Serato. We're going to use Serato as an example. You can also do it with Tractor and Rekordbox and Virtual DJ. And the advantages of this are really simple. If you already own, let's just get these pieces of vinyl off here for now. By the way, look at this old Digital DJ Tips logo. Look at this, how long I've had this. If you have got a pair of record decks and a mixer knocking around and you're used to using them, then why would you bother buying new equipment when you can do what I'm about to show you? So I'm going to talk you through the 2 bits of gear you need to do this, to play modern music but using the gear that you've got. So the first piece of gear you need to do this is one of these boxes. This is a very clever little box. It's an audio interface, but it's a special audio interface. So what this does, in simple terms, is it takes the output from these computer records. These are computer records. Let me play you what one of these records actually sounds like in reality. It's like, you know, the pretty girl who is actually an alien. And when you turn the power off in deep space, they turn back into an alien from another planet. These aren't real records. They look like they are, but they're not. Listen to that. That is what they actually sound like. Now, I'm not sure you can even hear that. But if you can't, let's just turn it up a little bit. That's what they actually sound like. Not very nice, right? But this little box here is clever. This little box takes that signal, which a computer can understand, and it goes out of your turntable and into this box. And from there, it goes up this blue wire all the way to our laptop, to a copy of Serato DJ software. This copy of Serato DJ software, when it's told to do exactly what we're talking about now, will take the signal coming from this computer record and turn it into music. You see that moving there? That is the output from Serato, which then goes back into this mixer here at the back. So it hijacks the computer code via this box, takes it away, sends real music back down, and the music comes out of here. And the mixing happens in your old mixer, just like it always has. This is your old mixer circuitry. You're not controlling Serato with this, you're controlling a normal mixer. And so this very elegant system, it's been around for a long, long time. If you've ever heard digital vinyl, DVS, well, that's what you're looking at here. It's a DVS system. And it's really, really clever because it can convert any gear. You also get CDs with it. You get the vinyl with it. Comes like this. As I say, you can get these for all the big systems, not just Serato. I'm using Serato to demo this. You get the vinyl with it. So you get the vinyl, you also get a couple of CDs with it that will plug into any old CD players. So effectively, you can take that box, and you can take a couple of leads. Let me just get this out of the way. I do have to keep things tidy down here. You take that box and a couple of leads and you can plug it into any old DJ equipment and control your laptop with it. Control your copy of Serato software directly from it, which is really cool. So let's say you do this. And by the way, we've seen hundreds of DJs, including ourselves, follow the exact path I'm about to explain to you. Because remember, I'm going to give you 2 bits of equipment here that'll help you convert old decks into modern gear. So let's say you're doing this. And you're loving it. Now, there are 2 main modes on this kind of stuff. There's one called absolute mode, and this is what I'm in now. Now, absolute mode is where it controls the vinyl absolutely like it would if it were a real record. So if I put my needle down on this, let's use the other record deck so you can see the needle. If I put the needle down at the beginning of the record deck in absolute mode, and I'm at the beginning of the record here, right? This is here, I'm at the beginning of the record. You can't hear anything. I go forward, and the record starts. There we go. There's the first beat of the record. I'm right at the beginning. It's where it should be, right? If I move through the record, I'm moving through the record. Now this record ends about here. It's only about 2 minutes long and the vinyl's 10 minutes long. But hear that? It ends there. So that's like a real record. It's following the record, absolutely. Now, as I say, it doesn't end there because this is about 10 minutes of, 15 minutes of so-called music on here. But the point is, you can go forwards and backwards as you can with a real record by moving forwards and backwards with the needle. It's absolute. It's absolutely like real vinyl. Back to the beginning, there's the beginning. And if I go over to the software, you can see that happening there as well. See, that's the beginning. So what we've got here is basically 2 records. It's just they're controlling MP3s and not actual pieces of vinyl. And that's it. Everything else is as it would be. Now, what happens is DJs watch other DJs using computers and think, hang on, they're looping. They might see someone with the CD loop a track and think they're looping. Why can't I loop? My software's got loop on it. On the software here, there is a loop function in the software. And they think, well, why can't I loop? That's not fair. And the reason that you can't loop or do cue points or do loop rolls or any of the other clever stuff is that in order for that to happen in this mode, the record deck would have to loop. The record deck would have to suddenly move the needle back and move the needle back because it's in absolute mode. It's following where the grooves would be on a real record. So what happened was that there was another mode that became popular called relative mode. And in relative mode, I'll set the deck we were using to relative mode now and show you the difference. In relative mode, on the record deck, it doesn't care where on the record you put down the needle and pick it up. I put the needle down at the beginning there, pick it up, put it down at the end, pick it up. It's just carrying on playing. Every time I put the needle down, it's carrying on playing from where it left off when I took the needle up. This left and right movement doesn't mean anything. Now that means that we're not controlling where we are in the record there. And that means that we can use our looping controls. So if I head over to the software here, and I hit the loop control, I'm going to hit number 4, the loop 4 beat. There's 1 beat actually, just so you can hear it more obviously. So on the software you can see there I've got a beat loop. Now it doesn't matter where the needle is on the record. If I pick the needle up on the record, put it down again, it's still in a loop anywhere, right? So you see the difference. Relative mode lets us do all the clever stuff that you can do on DJ software, but just using our turntables. So not only loops, we can also use cue points. So I could set a cue right there at the beginning of the song, I could set a cue point or whatever. So relative mode is actually really clever because it lets you use your turntables like big jog wheels, right? So here's the thing, you've converted your old record decks using one of those little boxes I showed you into a DVS system. And you've discovered that you can press a button on your software and you can have looping and loop rolling. You can also have hot cues, and you can also mess around in different ways with the effects and the sync button and so on. Trouble is, where are the buttons? You're going to have to use your software. You're going to have to lean over here and browse around like you're on Facebook every time you want to do anything. And by the way, also every time you want to load a track, you're going to have to go in here and do that stuff. You're missing all the buttons. And even a cheap DJ controller has got buttons on it. Effects, loading tracks, they're all on here. And you haven't got any of that on your 30-year-old record decks and mixer. Of course you haven't. Now you can buy mixers that have got buttons and stuff on. This is a Traktor Z2 mixer for Traktor. You can get similar mixers, the DDJ S9 for Serato and so on. But you've already got a mixer. You got your mixer. You don't need a new one. So what are you going to do? How are you going to get control of all that juicy stuff in Serato without having to shell out for more equipment? Well, you are going to have to shell out for more equipment, but quite a clever piece of equipment. And that's what I'm going to show you next. But first, before we move on, I just want to take some of your comments, say hello to a few people. So if you just joined us, we're looking at the cheapest, easiest way to convert any old record decks into a Serato system. Could be any other system as well. The equipment I'm using here is Serato. In other words, to control your music using your laptop and do it all live from here. And by the way, the Serato box I showed you, this box here, it comes with the vinyl, it comes with the software. So that's about $300. For $300, you can literally convert your old gear as far as I've shown you so far. But there's more. But first I want to go and get your comments and questions, and we'll move on for the second half. I'm looking at my watch, by the way, because my little boy, who's 8, has got goalkeeper practice on the soccer pitches over there. I've got to be there in 20 minutes. So 20 more minutes here, folks. I'm going to be honest with you. That's just how it is. Right, your comments. Let's go and have a look. The stunning Technics 2 channel, Ceramic 2 channel, if you know, you know, says Scott. Listen, old school Scott. Hello to John from Singapore. It's always good to have you here, John, over there on YouTube. So Michael says dicers. Yeah, dicers are a good way of doing this, but we're not going to cover dicers here. Brandon, you've got it right, but I'll keep people in suspense. Red Pill Taker says no MIDI mappings available because of the old mixer, right? Yeah, that old mixer's got no MIDI on it. I don't think MIDI was invented when that was invented. Norbert just says hello. Hello, Norbert, over there in Germany. Lots and lots of you on YouTube today. Good to have all you YouTube people. Just hello to Brandon in Boston. David says, would you now not switch to phase and remove all the challenge of needle and DVS? Well, phase is something a little bit different. You could do that, but it's an extra expense. But yeah, you could do that, David. So just hello to DJ Ginger in Ghana. Always good to call out a place name that's a little bit out of the ordinary. Good to have you here, DJ Ginger. Loads and loads of you commenting. Thank you. It's good to have so many of you here. Nigel says, I'm listening while I'm unboxing my new DDJ 1000 SRT. So good on you, Nigel. Good to hear that. DJ Mario, it's a me, DJ Mario, says, I just signed up for the Scratch class. I'm looking forward to my new journey with digital DJ tips. Yeah, our Scratch class just closed actually today. And Richard says, yo Phil, 1210 is really the one if using vinyls. Yeah, we agree with you. Okay, right, let's get back, because I want to move on to the second part of this whole equation. We've already covered, if you've just joined us, we're talking about how to turn any old record decks into a Serato system. We've already covered using a audio interface that's made for Serato. I'm using the Denon DJ DS1. It's very cheap, like $300. You get the Serato control vinyl with it. That's the records I'm playing on here. You also get a copy of the Serato software to use. So everything is in there with this, which makes it pretty cool. But we've now discussed that you'll pretty soon see all the great stuff on your software. Cues, loops, loop rolls, slicer, all that other stuff. Loading your tracks with a button instead of having to lean over here and stuff. And think, you know what, I want all that cool stuff. But I haven't got it because I'm using 2 old record decks and a mixer from the 1980s, right? What am I going to do? Well, this is where the accessory controllers really help. If you were watching last week, you would have seen that we talked about this unit. It's called the XP2 from Pioneer. It's actually for Serato. It's for record box as well, but we're going to be using it with Serato. This, if you hold this up against a DJ controller and look carefully, you'll find this has got a lot of the knobs and buttons that are on this, but what this hasn't got is the decks and the mixer section. There's none of that on there. Now, guess what we've got in front of us on the table here? We've got the decks and the mixer section. Any DJ controller we have doesn't need those things because we've got them already. And that's exactly what this is for. It's for people using a DVS system like this who need all the buttons and knobs to control their DJ software. So what happens with it? Well, we get a stand or something and we just plonk it there in front of us. We then get a lead and we plug the thing in. Very easy to plug in with one lead. That plugs into your laptop in the same way that your DJ software does. Sorry, that your DVS box does, this little box from Denon. And you'll see that's all powered up now. So what's this giving us? Well, in short, it's giving us all the stuff we're missing. So to start with, I have a big knob at the top here. And on the software, you can see that this knob is allowing me to go through my music and select the track, the crate and the tracks that I want to play with. You also get the ability to control the things I was talking about, the loops, the hot cues, the pitch play, the rolls, all that stuff. I mean, I'll show you. Let's just get that track playing again. So now what I'm going to do is just get that track playing here from the beginning. And I'll show you some of the things you can do on this box. So to start with, you can control your effects. I've got 3 effects here. I've got a filter. That's probably very loud. Let's turn it down a little bit so I can get that volume a little bit more. Probably a bit better that, folks. So I've got a filter there. Filter plus an echo. Turn the filter off and just have the echo. And a reverb. This is controlling the effects in Serato from here, which is very, very cool because they're there, so you might as well use them, right? That loop is still on, believe it or not. Let's turn that loop off. But I didn't need to go to the computer to turn that loop off because there is looping in here. Even better, there is that kind of loop roll effect that you hear all the time the DJs use on here. And this is on the pads. These pads control all kinds of stuff. So for instance, and on the software, you can see that it's given me, just like a controller, giving me full control over that part of what's going on in the software. As well as that, you've got pitch play. Pitch play is when you can take a note and move it up and down. You can move the whole key up and down of the track. Again, you're just using the buttons here. Higher, lower. And also you've got hot cues on here. So I can set hot cues. I'll delete the ones that I've already put on there. I can set hot cues on parts of the track. Just a load of random hot cues there, and jump around the track with those. You can't do any of this stuff on just turntables, and you can't really do any of this stuff without a box like this because you're doing it all on the computer, and doing it all on the computer makes you look like you're on Facebook or something. It makes you look like you're not actually doing anything to do with DJ, which is a bad look. But a box like this, the XP2 from Pioneer, plugs into your laptop and solves that problem for you. Now we can mix as if we were just using normal record decks, just like I'm mixing with normal vinyl. But I've got all that digital stuff there if I need it. I've got the loop rolls, I've got the hot cues, I've got the pitch play, I've got all my library functions, I've got key, and I've got slicer and all the other stuff that you do on the pads on a normal DJ controller. This box is about $300 as well. So taken together, the Denon box, including the control vinyl and the software, and this box, about $600, $650. And for that money, you can turn any old system like the one I've got here, any old record decks, any old mixer, as long as you audio on a laptop, into a system that will let you play all your digital music, your MP3s, and nowadays increasingly even use streaming services like Tidal is built into here. Beatport Link is available and increasingly becoming more available. So if you have the equipment already and you're completely happy with it, but you want to give it a new lease of life, you know, it's really very, very cheap to do so. And certainly if you wanted to buy a reasonable DJ controller nowadays, you'll be paying a lot more than that. And then this gear is going to sit in your attic. And of course, with all this gear here, you can also play your vinyl, because this has got a mode called through mode. And in through mode, I'll just show you what it looks like. I haven't got any vinyl handy, but in through mode, you see the big circle at the top with the word through on it. That means that if I just hit play on this, and you'll hear the computer code when I do, it's just playing what's on the vinyl, which is really nice, because that means that instead of using the box and instead of using all this to control your digital music, you can just have a spin session with your old vinyl, which is always a nice thing to do as well. So there you go. This has been especially for those people sat with old record decks in the attic, in the basement, thinking I've got to dig those out and do something with them. Or maybe your mum and dad have got some that they put away years ago and you think, I want to have a go at this stuff. Look, this is all you need. A little DVS interface, some kind of way to control the other stuff on the software, and this is currently brand new in a really nice way, the Pioneer XP2. These two things taken together will do that for you. And that's what we've got for you today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I want to go and take some of your comments. I also want to tell you about a competition where you can win the chance to have a DJ lesson one-to-one, not with me, that would be good, but with Laid Back Luke. I'll tell you about that right now. So let's head back over to the comment station and we'll do exactly that. Okay, folks, let me tell you first about the competition, and then we'll have a few of your comments and questions and so on. So what we've got for you is actually very simple. What we've got for you is, let me just get that camera back to me. Thank you. What we've got for you on that link there, which we will post for you underneath as well, what we've got for you there is a special competition. It's a draw. It's a random draw where, as long as you can get to Amsterdam next week for ADE, for the Amsterdam Dance Event, as long as you're nearby or you can get there if you win, you can win the chance to have a free one-to-one DJ lesson with Laid Back Luke. It's in conjunction with ADE, with Denon DJ, with us, and with Mix Max Records, and Luke is going to be there to talk you through his tricks, talk you through the stuff he does. You also win a copy of the course that we did with Luke, so it's a really, really nice prize, and it's free to enter, but you do have to be in Amsterdam. We're not paying for hotels and flights or whatever. We've got Luke, we've got the Denon DJ suite where you're going to be taken into a very plush suite, privately away from the crowds to learn. You get a photo shoot with Luke as well. You also win a copy of his course, the creative DJing course that he's made with us at Digital DJ Tips. So it's a great prize, but you have to be in Amsterdam. So here is where to enter, djtips.co/LBL for Laid Back Luke -ADE. Head there. And enter, and you never know, you could be, I will be there as well, so you will get to meet me. Hey, you've got to enter now, right? But no, seriously, we'd love to see you there, and get in there, enter, you might win, and we'd love to have you over there. Right, okay, let's get back now to the comments about converting your old decks into a modern system using just a couple of pieces of kit that'll get you started for about $600, which is pretty good value. What's the stand for the XP2, says David, who makes it? I'm actually using, the stand I was using there is made by Reloop, but it's a bit small. It's a tiny bit small, a little bit wobbly. I would use the official one that is made by Pioneer if I were you. You can get the AFX unit also for Serato, says Mr. F Swift. The one you mean, Mr. F Swift, I did have down here. It's on the shelf. You mean this one here, don't you? Akai made these two units, the AFX units. They don't make them anymore, unfortunately, but they are very good. They're another cheap way of getting started. Just adding that one to what you've got will give you similar to what we just talked about. That is very true. Thank you for that. That, Mr. F. Smith, Mr. F. Swift. Always good to have you here. So moving on then. Scott says, I love the thoughts from Phil. I wish I could get that to go a bit bigger. Let me just see if I can drag that there. There we go. I love the thoughts from Phil and the perfectly explained ways. If you want to head down this route, it's absolutely possible without spending a fortune. Turn old into new. That's what we want. Exactly. Yeah. There's too much stuff. There's too much stuff out there, people. Full stop. Reuse what you've got. Tyson just says, hey, hell yeah, Laid Back Luke is the best. So I think we've got someone who's going to be entering the competition there. So people are asking about turntables. $600 is less than the price of a lot of full-size controllers. Yeah, and look, the point is you're reusing what you've got. Turntables are expensive. You've got good turntables if you've got something like that. A lot of people have from back in the day. So Lucas says, hey Phil, I've got a question. I have a pair of old CDJ 900s and I was looking into getting the XP2 to unlock the Rekordbox DJ software and use them as controllers. Would that be possible with any mixer? Absolutely. You can use exactly what we showed you there. You can replace those two record decks with your CDJ players, plugging into any old mixer, and you just put the CDs that are provided with it into the unit and it will work in exactly the same way. I'm here. So yeah, Lucas, that will work fine. All right then, so let's keep looking. I would prefer such a setup over the Nexus 2 system anytime. That's the Pioneer high-end CDJs. So yeah, a lot of people thinking that. The 1200s and a Technics mixer are pretty much undestroyable, says Wolfgang. That mixer over there, the crossfade is a little bit wobbly now, but apart from that, it's really, really good. I agree with you there, Wolfgang. So it's not a Hercules DVS, it's a Denon. A few people are saying it's Hercules. Oh no, a few people are saying Hercules does have a cheaper one. I don't know about that, not for Serato, I don't think. A couple of you saying the Reloop Neon is a cheap, good alternative for the XP2, which is the button box I showed you. Indeed, we've reviewed the Neon. There's also the DDJ SP1, S for Serato P1 from Pioneer, but I like that one. I just like that one, something about that one. It's not very expensive for $300. Are the records strong enough? Will they get ruined with scratching? Nah, they're very forgiving, DVS records, of everything. So no, the records will work fine. I own a DDJ 1000, but can I use my DDJ 1000 as a mixer for Serato DVS? Says Zong. You can not without buying the Denon box that we showed you, because the DDJ 1000 is only for Rekordbox. You can use it for Rekordbox DVS, that's the best route for you. Then you just plug your record decks in and it will work. So that's definitely the best route for you there. All right then, I'm going to stop now because, as some of you know, if you've been listening, I've got to take my little boy to football practice, and his granddad's with him as well today. So he's got his dad and his granddad, but I've got to meet them downstairs in about 4 minutes. So I need to lock up here, but listen, it's been awesome talking to you. Remember, we've got the competition. If you want to win a chance to get a DJ lesson one-on-one with Laidback Luke, you've just got to be able to be in Amsterdam for ADE next week. We've got the DJ lesson with Luke, photo shoot with Luke. It's in Denon DJ's very private suite. You get to meet Luke, you get to meet me even. It's a great little prize. And you also get a copy of Laidback Luke's creative DJing course as part of that prize. But you have to be in Amsterdam. So if you are, enter there. Click there and enter, and we will tell you everything you need to know to get yourself into that prize. And finally, Brandon, God bless you, Brandon. Brandon says, hey Phil, that video you made on audio cables is the bomb. Thank you so much. Well, there you go. We try and cover everything for everyone here at Digital DJ Tips. It's been a pleasure. Listen, everyone, get good, get out there, make the moments. I'll see you again very soon. Make sure you enter that competition. Till this time next week, have a good one. Bye-bye.